What is going on, everybody? It is two guys, one slot with hi. I'm Corey, and have we decided how far exactly away you are? Is it like 1,600 miles? I keep saying that.
I think so. I've always said over 1,000 miles away when I reference how far I moved away from home, but 1,600 sounds about right. It's a
Let's
lot. It's
solve
like a
this right now.
16-hour drive, 100 miles an hour.
Let's solve this right now. Wichita to Phoenix, miles apart. Let's see exactly how far away I am from the Russ factor. 1,010 miles.
Okay, so it's 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles.
And if I could walk 1,000 miles just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles next to the Russ factor, I'd do that for you.
I think we were supposed to add 500 twice in there somewhere, but I'll take it.
Anyway, what are we on? Episode 36?
36, as I call it, season 2.
Season 2, episode 36. Two guys, one slot. I'm Corey, the slot master 316, and 1,010 miles away is the Russ factor.
Nice. How was the holiday weekend, pal?
It was all right. Actually, I always dread it. I always am like, ugh, got all the family coming in, and I always end up being really sad when everybody leaves. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. None of my family particularly came in. I haven't seen my little brother, and he lives here in a couple weeks. Talked to him, but haven't seen him. I figured I'd see him at some point, but never did.
Yeah.
All of my wife's family, sisters, and husbands and kids all came. And my brother-in-law has a house here because he's here all the time. So half of them stayed there, and then the other half stayed here. So at one point we had about 10 or 11 kids under 11 here. So it's kind of a madhouse. But
Mine was a lot quieter, as you know. We did low key Thanksgiving this year, so it was just me and the wife and these 3 cats and a little meal we put together. And
it did look great. The meal you had looked absolutely fantastic. Russ
yeah,
Factor.
we cheaped out on a lot of shit this year too, like the stuffing. It was the world famous red box. You know.
Yeah,
the stovetop.
Stove stop stuffing.
The turkey was I forget the name. It comes in the white bag. I think they have kind of a green logo. Frozen, pre-cooked from Kroger. Slapped that in the oven for like 2 hours. It was perfect.
Nice.
And then she did a neat little pie. It was like 2-layer. One layer was pumpkin. I forget what the other layer was. And then we did a macaroni and cheese bake, per my request. Some green bean casserole, mashed potatoes and gravy, and some deviled eggs.
Well, that sounds nice. Where all are we live tonight? I get confused. So are we live on TikTok and YouTube?
TikTok and YouTube confirmed.
Okay,
We had technical difficulties last week, so anybody who was hanging around last week, sorry about that. I'm not taking the blame, but
who's gonna take the blame? I'm gonna take the blame.
I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Okay,
I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Good. This first half brought to you by lennylang.com. Check it out, LENILANGE.com for all of your all good in the hood apparel. Speaking of, you wanted to tell me that this was the worst Black Friday sales-wise in history.
Oh my God, dude. Like, I was watching TikToks all Friday of people that worked at places like Best Buy, Walmart, Target, and they're like, 8:15 at Target on Black Friday, and it's just a ghost town. And then we saw the other TikToks of people going to these stores and going, look at this TV for $249. Let's take a look behind here and see how much. Oh, it says $249 behind the Black Friday tag. So nothing was on sale.
That's interesting. I always look forward to Black Friday because I love to see all of the people climbing over each other to get into the stores, Walmart specifically. And I didn't see any of those this year.
So a lot of stores pulled the same little trick where nothing was really discounted like crazy. And then Amazon did their usual tactic where, like, especially like I use electronics as an example. I use an app like I think Honey's one of them where, you know, you get the cool promo codes when you're at checkouts.
Yeah.
But it also on Amazon will show you a historical chart of, you know, how the price has been doing. And it was just very interesting to look at like some of the monitors and like SSDs and stuff. And mysteriously, the prices got jacked up in like October.
Oh, really? So they jacked the prices up.
Uh-huh.
And then, hey, we are selling it. It's getting out of this door.
Right back to where it was in June.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't buy shit on Black Friday. I literally, okay, I bought, I was looking through all my lists, and like the only stuff that went on sale was like some stuff on my mom's list. I bought this little cheap stand for a record player and a little metal cheese grater because they went on sale. And I'm like, well, there's my Black Friday shopping.
That's so interesting. I didn't do any Black Friday shopping, if at all. I don't know. I think
I bought some energy drinks on TikTok Shop that were like actually a good deal.
Oh my God, you bought something on TikTok Shop?
That's the second thing I've ever bought on TikTok Shop. The first thing I bought was this controller.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my ones with the back paddles, because normally these ones without all the pieces, since I have duplicate, they're like $129, but you can get them on TikTok for like $89 all the time. Like, that's a good deal. So that and some energy drinks are the two things I've ever bought on TikTok Shop.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't think I've had them send me stuff. Speaking of which, I need to.
Well, I'm hoping now that I bought a couple things, I get free shit.
Since I sold out last week to the highest bidder, I still need to complete that, but I haven't done that yet. So I didn't really. We played a lot of cards. Interestingly enough, we played this new game called Ons, where it's 7 rounds and you have to have at least 3 or 4 people to play. With 2 decks of cards, and you try to get sets, which are like tens. You'd have to get at least 3 tens, or runs where you'd have to get a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We played a lot of that.
Okay.
It's a very difficult game, and it started to hurt my brain after a while. And I didn't like some of the rules, so I tried to change them, but I got overruled.
No.
But we played a lot of that. My wife actually won a few of the games. She thought I was very not very nice to her during those games.
Why
and
not?
very I don't know. I was. My brother-in-law was not very nice. He was kind of mean to the other people. I'm just kidding. No, they were good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then, like I say, they got out of here on Saturday morning, Saturday early, because it snowed.
Storm. You guys had a storm.
Yeah, they said it was going to snow about 5 to 6 inches. And
I was watching it on TikTok. There's actually a dude, I get like Wichita content, and there was a live, and it was a light dusting at the time I was watching it. And then like literally 5 hours later, Sarah sent me a picture that her mom took and went, I was like, oh my God, it snowed a lot today.
Yeah, it powered through. And it actually, I normally take the under. They said 7 inches. I was like, oh, I'll take the under. And it was actually maybe over. It was a real good snowstorm. So that Sunday, we went out and, did all the dad snow things, took the kids sledding, had some fun. And
where do you guys go to sled out there?
Out on the golf course. There's a couple hills.
Cool.
We took the golf cart out.
We used to go out on the west side when I was a kid, over by where the West Side Palace was. There's a big old hill over there.
That is a big ass hill. A lot of kids
fear for your life going down that shit.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is a huge, especially when it starts getting icy. Yeah. I was thinking of pulling my kids behind my golf cart, but they were too scared. They didn't want to do it. I mean, my dad, and not my dad, but my friend's dad used to like get us a ski rope, and we would get like those silver dishes and go behind his pickup truck. And he'd like floor it around a turn. And I remember multiple friends having to get stitches because they ran into mailboxes because they would whip out. And I remember multiple stitches, but that was great. That was the fun of it. So hi, everybody watching on TikTok. Hi, Ed. Hi, Amy. Hi, everybody on YouTube, Shenanigan King, Lisbeth, Trina. Thanks for watching. Brenda, what's up?
My dad was in there. Daddy Factor was in there right before the show.
I haven't seen Daddy Factor. Well, I haven't been. Oh yeah, I see him right there. Hi, Daddy. I haven't been to the casino, and I was gonna say Sunday night. I pride myself in not getting ill. I pride myself on my enormous immune system. That could have gone anywhere. And I normally will get a head cold. That's about it. Never have had COVID. I normally I'll get a head cold maybe once or twice a year, and I felt it coming down the pipe on Saturday night. So I started just chugging vitamin C and that type of stuff, and it caught me.
You haven't licked enough spin buttons at the casino to keep your immune system up.
I know. I should have. I haven't been. I'm gonna go this evening after our podcast. That's why we're doing it a little bit early tonight. And I'm gonna go tonight and get back in the swing of things. I just haven't gone. It's just I haven't felt great, but I've had to John Wayne it, as my dad would say, and gone to work every day. I haven't missed a day of work.
There you go.
But man, last night I was probably the roughest night. I was coughing and hacking and doing all sorts of shit.
You gotta get all that shit out of you.
Up most of the night. Once I started, the key is taking your meds at the correct time.
Yeah.
Last night I took my NyQuil, which I hate taking any type of medicine. I took it too early because it'll normally knock me out for about 2 or 3 hours. I took it at like 10 last night.
Lucky.
So
NyQuil does not make me sleep.
I'm a rare one, like I guess like you are. It does not make me sleep. Like it'll knock my wife or my kids or whoever takes it out.
Now, if you mix the NyQuil with edibles, it's different.
I should have done that. That should be my next for my next trick. I am going to mix NyQuil with this and see if I wake up. But I didn't. I woke up at like 1:15 and I was up all night coughing.
Yep, awake. Yeah.
Which in turn kept my wife up as well. So I apologize for that.
You sound a little under the weather. I hope you're on the better end of it now, though.
I hope I'm on the flip. So being with that, I'll come home. I'll try and edit some videos down. I had a pretty good video that I did with the Roulette Master.
I saw that.
We went and played.
I was a little disappointed. Wasn't my favorite system that I wanted to see.
I know. I tried to get him to do the Dr. Pepper roulette system, but it was interesting filming it because we had one jerk off that was like, "What are you doing? Don't film that." And we couldn't film the wheel, and that was like kind of the fun part about it.
Yeah.
And then I guess I just pressed record and started. We didn't talk about it going in. We probably should have talked about it a little bit more. But I wanted the easiest system with $100, and
no, it turned out good. I was kind of watching it from that level, and it was neat video. I'd like to see kind of
made money.
Yeah, I'd like to see some more of that. Definitely is some little collabs with it. I'd like to have him on the show. I don't know why we've never thought about that.
Yeah, we need to. We need to have the Roulette Master on. Maybe we can have him. Have you worked on how's Vegas Pauly C? Have you gone?
I'm working with him. I'm going to try to see if we can either lock it in next week or the week after. Look at your schedule to make sure both of those work. But definitely we'll need to just kind of get some prep going. I'm keeping it really light. He doesn't seem really asking a lot of questions.
I didn't see him much on over the Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
break.
He's been real light. I think I've only shared one text with him so far that he's gotten back to. But I said, hey, let's get through this week. I know the holiday was here and everything, and so we're kind of going from there. But yeah, we just need to kind of just get some stuff in order because it kind of seems like we might find out like the day before. Like, oh yeah, we'll do it then. Okay, cool. So,
right. I'll that'll be fun to have him on. We'll
Vegas Pauly C is who we're talking about.
Hello. I'm going to Vegas. Speaking of Vegas,
oh my God, that trip's already here.
14th, right? So that's in like 3 weeks.
And you're seeing U2 at that one too, right?
hell, motherfucker, yeah. Can't wait.
I'm
Oh,
curious
my
to
God.
see. You'll have to kind of. I mean, I don't know. The finer details if you remember. But what's changed?
I will remember. I am not going to let any person talk me into drinking. I am not that at all. I'm not going to let it do it. Look, Socks. Thanks for your resubscription on the welcome to the 316. Thanks for your resub. Speaking of which, she was at the casino. I saw a big jackpot won by her, which is fantastic.
Congrats.
And so being sick and such, I've been, just laying kind of low and laying in bed and not doing much. So I've been watching a lot of TikToks and watching a lot of YouTube, and it was interesting the hole that I got in on TikTok. It's interesting the things that they send you around. I was in like a weird TikTok loop where it kept like sending me back to before it would after I went through the people I follow, the lives, it would send me to people I don't follow. But now it was getting me into, it just kept looping in. So I had to like sign out and sign back in to get new
I've been
people.
getting that too. I wonder if it's a bug.
Yeah, it must be. It just drove me nuts because you just sit there and scroll. And I was like, I just saw this. I don't want to watch this guy dig a hole.
Yeah. I've
Today I
been
was
seeing them
watching a guy-
multiple times too. Like I'll something I see in the morning. I go at night, and it's like I've seen these videos, like almost in this exact same fucking order.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that, but hopefully they get that fixed. And I'm seeing actually a little bit less and less of, because every time I see TikTok shop, I say not interested.
Yeah.
Or when somebody's doing, I was watching Spencer Pratt was doing a live selling. He and Spidey were selling jewels or crystals or some voodoo shit that they were peddling on their channel, and I was like, come on, Spidey.
Was it Shungite? Was it?
What it was. And then so then I started getting in like all of these old school videos of from like Conan O'Brien back when he had a TV show, and David Letterman and Saturday Night Live, and they were kick-ass videos of music of concerts or where the bands would play just a song, and one of them that I watched was Puddle of Mud. They sang Blurry. It was on Conan. And then I watched 311. They played Come Original. I think it was on David Letterman. And I just watched this for like hours and hours as I was just laying in bed. And it just made me think of like all of those old school concerts that we used to introduce the bands and hang out with the bands and all sorts of weird stuff. So what year do you think that would have been? Like, because Russ and I, if you're not familiar with our history, Bubba's Picks 316, Russ Factor and I all worked at an alternative radio station at 92.7.
It's been a while, huh? You almost forgot.
No, I almost did. 92.7, The Fly.
You don't even say it the same anymore.
I know. It was cool that we got to do that. And it was interesting. They always say don't meet the people that you are interested in. And that was the case the majority of the time.
We met some cool ones, though. But yeah.
There were a lot of cool ones. But as many cool ones, there were horror stories. I think probably the biggest a-hole that I ever met, and I don't know if you were a part back then, but the Weezer show, Rivers Cuomo was he's the lead singer of Weezer, and I drew the short straw because I hated going up and introducing the bands in front of the crowd or whatever and be like, hey, Wichita, are you ready to rock?
I think we usually made Paul do that shit.
I hated doing that. I hated it. And I went out and introduced Weezer. Prior to that, were you at that show?
I was not at that show. No, I remember it, though, but I was not at that show.
That was at the Kansas Coliseum, which is now no longer. And they we're all just kind of sitting around in a green room. One part of the band was in the green room, and then the other part of the band, the other guy, Rivers Cuomo, was in another room. I guess didn't like hanging out with the rest of them, and the guy goes, "Hey, let's go back and talk, and then so you can meet the band or whatever." And so I met the guy, the bass player with the glasses, and the guitar player and the drummer. They were all really cool, and we went in to meet the lead singer, and he was just like sitting on a couch, like staring at the ceiling. I don't know what he was doing. And I was like, "Hey," and he was like, stared at me, and I was like, "Hey," and he was just staring at me, and I was like, "Okay, well, nice to meet you." And he's like, "Are you a contest winner?" And I was like, "Well, I'm actually the contest loser. I'm introducing the band tonight. We drew straws, and I allegedly picked the last one. I don't know, whatever." And he's like, "Okay, you can't say this, this, and this." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "So when somebody says can't, what's that automatically in my mind?"
Those are the only options you have.
That is the only thing I'm going to say. And I don't necessarily remember what it was, but word for word, I said exactly what he did not want me to say. It was something about, "Are you ready to rock Wichita?" or something like that. He's like, "Don't say that." So I, of course, said that. And so he walked out to the stage, and I think the very, very first song that they sang was "Dope Nose." Remember that song by Weezer?
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that song. So before they came out, there was like a little taped intro. So I was like, whatever he didn't want me to say, Weezer. And then they walked out, this little taped intro played, and then right before he started singing "Dope Nose," he goes, "This goes out to the asshole that introduced us." And I was like, yes.
I call that a win.
That was a victory in my book, but he was a jerk off. And then coincidentally, that same show, it was like a Wild West tour or something. I can't remember what. Who was on that bill, except for, you may or may not remember this guy, Pete Yorn.
Yeah.
He sang that song "For Nancy," 'cause it already was.
I like that song.
Is. I actually hung out with that guy, watching like on the side of the stage with him, and he was actually a really fun, neat dude. And he ended up being, we used to pump that song and play that song a lot at our radio station. And then he ended up doing an album with Scarlett Johansson that actually became there was a pretty good song called "Relator" on there that was really good. If you'll remember that, check that out if you haven't done so. And then some of the other bands that were cool were 311. They were always really nice. They came here a lot because they were from Omaha, Nebraska, and that's a couple 100 miles north of Wichita. And they would come here, Kansas City, Lawrence, a lot, as they were. It actually was one of my very first shows I ever saw. I believe it's 93 or 94. I saw them. My brother, who was 21 at the time, snuck me into the bar. I can't even remember. I think he just opened the back door, and I just walked in at the Aviator, which was downtown. You remember that? You probably don't remember the Aviator, but it was an old school club downtown, and snuck me in. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is cool." And everybody's like, "You want a beer?" And I was like, "No, I just want to watch the show." And then, I was sharing that story with them when they came back, I guess, 10 years later in 2002 or 3. That probably had to have been when they were at
the Cotillion, right?
Cotillion.
Yep.
And that was good stuff. And then, some other people we got to introduce was Third Eye Blind. The band was really cool, except for the lead singer. Stephen Jenkins was an interesting feller. Who all did you get to meet? Anybody or do any of that type of stuff after?
Yeah. I mean, we did a number of local bands. I mean, 311. I went to the show. I wasn't there when they came in studio. They came in studio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that.
I can't believe you didn't get to meet after the stunt.
Yeah. But no, we did smaller bands like that band from here. That was cool. They did an acoustic set in the studio before Braille.
Before Braille.
And then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
went
yeah.
over to Eagles Lodge and watched them that night. That was fucking awesome.
Those guys ended up staying the night at my house. Their hotel somehow fell through, and then they stayed at my house. It was very interesting. I was like, "You guys can come over to my. I don't have any furniture, but you can. I have a couch and a TV, and that's it." It was like right when I moved in. But
I don't think we met him, but we went to Weird Al.
oh yeah, I forgot about Weird Al.
I was at the Cotillion as well.
Like 7 or 8 times. I've seen him in LA. I've seen him here and in Tulsa and Kansas City. I love Weird Al.
Yeah.
Is that funny that I like Weird Al so much and seen him?
But yeah, we didn't have any like interview with him or anything, which really.
So what are some of the best concerts you've ever like? If you could go back in time, okay. Here's mine. Other than you two, every concert I've been to is the greatest. Other than you two, what are some of? Well, it might be your best. What are some of your favorite concerts that you've ever been to?
So somewhere around the 2002-2003 era, I saw Incubus, and that was really cool because they were, like on the tail end of their. Well,
who was that? Who are they with? It was Incubus. It was like the Honda Civic tour at the Coliseum?
At the Coliseum. I can't remember who they came with.
Hoobastank.
Was it Hoobastank?
Yeah, it was Incubus, Hoobastank, and one other band. I can't remember who it was. I was there. That was a really good show.
And then I also went around those same years to Linkin Park, and they came in with Disturbed, I believe.
Linkin Park, we got to hang out with those guys and interview those guys. I didn't get to talk to Chester much. I talked to I think his name was Brad, the guitarist that wore the headphones, and the bass player Phoenix, and those guys were really, really cool. And Mike Shinoda, those guys were really cool, down to earth guys. And I have never seen a crowd rock like that. Man, when they first came out, it was bonkers.
That was wild. And it was weird how they did that show, because they were pushed back farther than a lot of bands were, so the floor was just open and packed, and it was more floor space than you usually have, because usually they would push the bands closer to past the halfway mark of the Coliseum.
Right.
But no, they were like at the 2/3 mark, and
yeah.
I remember being down on that floor, and it was just absolutely nuts
for me. I walked up. I walked up behind. Remember, Marilyn Manson played there, and he was like the 1/3, and like all those church groups were protesting him. So, like, if you could go back and see any concert, who would you, dead or alive, who would you want to see?
Man, I would say probably I would like to see. Oh man, I would always like to see, and it would have to be specific songs. I wouldn't want to go see weird stuff, but fucking Radiohead for sure. But I only want to hear certain stuff.
I agree. I've seen I saw Radiohead in Kansas City, and it was a very boring show. Yeah. I was very disappointed in Radiohead. The songs that I like, they were good, but the rest of it were just like, ugh.
I've never went to see Interpol, but every time they come here, it's like some shit 35-minute concert.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd like to see Interpol. Are they still touring around? Are they doing anything?
I don't know. I see, like, every couple years they reference that, they're working on a new album, and then it either comes out or I forget about it.
I'd forgotten about Interpol.
I've also seen Modest Mouse. I saw them here. It was up north.
My cousin went and saw them and said it was
drunk.
Right.
Dude just drunk.
Yeah, that's what he said too. He said it was all right, and just screamed. Mm-hmm. I think probably the coolest concert I ever saw that I don't really remember. I remember going, and I remember 2 or 3 of the songs, but I don't really remember the impact or whatever. I saw Nirvana in '91 up in Lawrence. I was probably maybe freshman in high school, and I don't necessarily remember too much about that show. I remember, I think I saw them twice but then I was arguing with a friend about it because I saw them at like a concert venue, or it wasn't a concert venue. It was like at University of Kansas. It was like in their music center. Was the first time I saw them. And then the second time I saw them, and I was trying to confirm this, I just need to search it on the internet, that they were at the Outhouse. And the Outhouse used to be where bands would play. Like Nirvana, I think Green Day played there. Rancid, bands like that would play there, and then I like went back like 3 or 4 years later, and it was a strip club. It was on the outskirts of Lawrence, but I don't necessarily. I remember going to the show. I don't remember much about it. You know, looking back, if I could go back to that, that would be really cool. To watch that show again, having the appreciation of, you know, that first album that Nirvana had. I just remember it was really, really, really loud. And I remember the bass player, Chris Novoselic, running around with no shoes on, and Dave Grohl just banging the drums with his hair. That's all I really remember. And Kurt was wearing some weird, it wasn't a skirt or a dress or whatever. It was just weird. I was like, man, that guy's kind of weird. And I always didn't really appreciate Nirvana until later. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have any desire to go watch like I'd like to go see Led Zeppelin or the Beatles, or I just don't have any desire to see any of that. I don't think.
I've also seen. You're kicking me a hell of an echo. There it goes. I've also seen Trapped at the Kansas State Fair.
Oh, I remember them. But they had 1 or 2 popular songs.
I don't remember any of them except for Headstrong.
Headstrong, make you all that.
Take on anyone.
Take on anyone. The other one that I was just thinking about that I saw, I said it earlier. I said Puddle of Mud. When we introduced, what was the guy's name? It was Wes Scantlin. That was his name, lead singer. They were from Kansas City, so they would come here quite a bit before they were like popular. They would play for like 30 people. And that was kind of like one of the local bands that we introduced. And he was so belligerently drunk.
There's a lot of videos of the internet that relate to this story about his performances.
That night. Yeah, it was. I think I remember it was something before like TMZ started. It was maybe something like World Star. He like started screaming at either the sound guy or the light guy, and then he just started throwing every beer that he had into the crowd, and it was like maybe 50 people.
Yeah, the last video I saw of him, he was the whole band just doesn't know what to do. At one point near the end of this rant, they just start trying to like play the next song, but he's screaming at some dude in the audience like, "You stole my fucking house! You stole my fucking house!" Like, what?
And speaking of, that's what you bring that up, is I just started searching. I was like, God, whatever happened to that dude? Last I heard, he got arrested for like taking a BB gun or something to LAX, and but he was just found. I don't know how old the article was, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. He got arrested again for trespassing. He went to this house that he bought in LA like 20 years ago or 15 years ago. He went there. I don't know if he was drunk or didn't know what was going on, but he was like, "This is my house. You stole my house." And then she called the cops, and she had like video of it also. I mean, that dude, it's amazing that guy is still alive, and is such greats like Steve Hardesty from the, the sings, "Hey Now, You're an All-Star," are dead.
I mean, like, Puddle of Mud had like some good songs.
Two hits.
Were they that popular enough for him to be that much of a fucking crazy asshole?
No, I think Booze just did some wild things to him, and he couldn't quit.
No,
sad.
It's like just seeing some stuff of the videos of the dude. It's like, we laugh and joke, but it's like, holy shit, man. Like, I mean, those other guys in the band, they're just like, fuck, our livelihood is just literally one more sentence out of his mouth from being over. Like,
yeah, it was weird. So I don't know. I don't, like I say, I don't. What other bands would you guys want to go? Who's ever out there? And hey, Duzzy, hi Socks, how are you? Good to see you there. B Many's in the chat. Sense Force, what's up? I don't know. I don't have any desire. Like I say, I don't have any desire to go back and see. Oh, I wish I was at Woodstock. No, just a bunch of smelly hippies running around the mud. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to go
There's
back.
a lot of stuff, like, there's a lot of music I like thinking about, like, the 80s and stuff, and it's like, I don't necessarily want to go, like, I like Depeche Mode, but I wouldn't want to go see Depeche Mode live. Like, stuff like that.
My cousin and I were going to go see Duran Duran, but they ended up canceling the concert, and I can't remember why they canceled the concert.
I've seen Flock of Seagulls.
Really? I ran, Russ ran so far.
They were at this outdoor venue here a few years back, probably like 2015 or 14 or something, called the Ostrich Festival over in Chandler. And yes, there's ostrich there.
I think somebody says the Juggalo B-Many said the Juggalo Gathering. You remember when the Insane Clown Posse came to Wichita and then came into our studio? Oh, Jesus. I mean, everything we did, we ended up having an interview or stop. It was the chunky one, whatever his name was. Shaggy Two Dope?
No, that's the skinny one. Violent J.
Violent J.
Yeah.
Violent J came into our studio, and he didn't have any makeup on, but he brought, I would say, 6 or 7 cases of Faygo. It was like blueberry and cotton candy and all that stuff. He goes, hey, you want to go out and throw some of this stuff with me? But no,
sir,
no.
Why are we gonna throw this?
But I ended up going to that concert, and it was bonkers. The Juggalos know how to get down. It was fun. Yeah. And they threw a lot of Faygo and sprayed a lot of Faygo everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And that reminded me of the Bloodhound Gang was another good concert. Does anybody remember the Bloodhound Gang? Did you go to that show at Cotillion?
I think I did. Holy shit! Yeah, I did. I forgot all about that one.
That's where Paul got on stage and they had a Big Mac hamburger eating contest to see how many Big Macs people could eat. And I think Paul ate 7 and the winner ate 8 in like 4 minutes, like during a song. Bloodhound Gang was actually pretty good. Whatever happened to those guys? That was a fun. I mean, remember that? Everybody.
The last thing I remember them ever releasing, God, this might be it for them, is that kind of Chris Isaac theme song.
Bloodhound Gang had a lot of not just the roof. They had a lot of really good songs.
Oh yeah, they did. They're like, there's stuff that, you know, we played the goofy songs on the radio, Bad Touch and everything, but like some of those Bloodhound Gang songs are like really good
and really well written. I think they were what was his name? Jimmy Pop. And I'm a dumb rock star.
Dumb white guy.
I'm
not older, newer, middle school, 5th grade, like junior high.
Good, Russ. Way to go. That's really good. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like I say, I don't think I'd ever want to go back and see any shows. Pretty much everybody I wanted to see, I've seen.
I would have liked to have seen Limp Bizkit in their heyday.
I saw them. They were not great live.
Yeah. At what point did you see them?
I'd like to see them again. I saw them after maybe their second album. It was probably.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's about the time that I would have thought maybe they would have been all right. But
they were all right. I mean, it wasn't great. It was Hot Dog Water. That tour. I saw them in Kansas City. I actually saw REM in Kansas City. They were pretty good too, surprisingly.
REM's another good one.
I think. I don't know. I don't know who. I can't think of a band I'd want to go back and see.
I haven't seen a ton of shows, like outside of like back in that little window when we were all working in radio and everything. Like out here, like I've seen 311. Like because Bubba came out here probably like 2008, and we all went to 311 out here. It was a blast. And then I've seen, because of my mom, I've seen Styx probably like fucking 25 times. I'll be back there a week after U2 in February, seeing them again.
Yeah.
And then I've seen I don't know if you know who this is, but MC Chris.
Oh yeah, I do know who MC Chris is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's coming to Phoenix?
Oh no, I saw him. It was years ago out here, but yeah, it was a Halloween show, so it was pretty cool. It was at the club that I was affiliated. Remember when I used to do that that local band stream on Wednesdays live from the club?
Yeah.
It was that club, and yeah, so we got in there and it was Halloween, so everybody was dressed up in costumes and shit. And oh yeah, he got in a little trouble there. Fucking security had to go out back because he was fucking selling loose joints out back to people.
He did that. Oh, he was. Yeah. He did that like vet song, or it was like a Star Wars song, Boba Fett's.
Yeah, Fett's Vet. Yeah.
That was his popular song.
Mm-hmm.
God, I totally forgotten about MC Chris.
And you know who else I saw at that club?
Who's that?
Afro Man.
Oh, okay. Because I get
I was helping after they were done, since I was affiliated with the club. I was helping rep chords and stuff, and I grabbed his stage bottle of Grey Goose vodka. And
nice.
I was like,
"Hello."
Oh, that's just water. His part of his rider is that he wants a big bottle emptied of Grey Goose vodka filled with ice water so that he can create the illusion of slamming vodka on the stage.
Oh my God.
It was just ice water.
Oh my yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, it makes sense because he drank probably most of that bottle, and yeah, they just had one of those little like little silver things on it, so it was just all night long drinking water. I was like, that's smart. So yeah, it's about the only other big name I saw there. I was like, we had a lot of local bands and shit, but
you remember those goofy European guys named Space Hog that had sang "In the Meantime"?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that song? They actually put on a really, really kick-ass show. I saw, like right around the same time, I saw Presidents of the United States and The Used and Korn. They were all on the same bill as with Bubba down in Florida. Presidents was one of the best shows I've seen. That dude is hilariously funny. I love that. That's good stuff. But I just kind of was sick and laying in bed and thinking, man, what trying to think of shows. What happened to these guys? I got into a hole with Hum, where where they own Stars. That was, I mean, whatever happened to those guys? Talk about one-hit wonders. Used to take the train to Mars. You're out back counting stars. And weirdly, Howard Stern had an obsession with that band and had them in studio and played. I saw on one of their.
Oh, I'll have to watch that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty good. Early 90s. I think that's when that was. Or maybe late 90s. I can't even remember. It's all the time is just melting into one. I can't believe that 2000 was 23 years ago. I mean, that's just insane to me that we're already almost into 2024. It's weird how when you're like growing up, time goes so slow, and you're like, oh my God, am I ever going to get out into high school and out of school? And then now you're like, holy cow, I've not been in high school for 30 years. I was
just 19 2 years ago, and now I'm almost dead. That's what it feels like.
You're closer to dead than 19, be my guess.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, no, I mean, I think about that a lot too, especially like it's that same thing all the time. Is our time, like we talk about the good old days back in radio. That does not feel like 23 fucking years ago, dude.
It's crazy.
It feels like 6 or 7.
20 years ago, I think. Well, I mean, we were in studio for September 11th, and that was September 11th, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that
because you got in there at the. Because you weren't there at the very beginning for the first like 6 months, the rap and techno format, were you? Because you came in to replace Steve. Oh yeah,
I was there. I just was doing on-air stuff. I wasn't music director or program director.
And then I rolled in.
We came at the very, very beginning when
I rolled in at the transition because Steve was still there on his way out.
where they played.
And I was hanging out with, you know who? The midday guys.
Oh,
Miami B and Brad L.A. LaFever.
Yeah. When we first transitioned over there, it was 93.9.
Mm-hmm.
It was Power 93.9, and it was called a Power 93.9.
K-Dogs.
K-Dogs. And they played for 24 hours. I've got the power. That was and I've got the power. That song for 24 hours straight, as they were like hooking all of the stuff in properly, all the boards and whatever. So that song played for 24 hours straight. I've got the power. Oh my God. And then they switched over.
And
yeah.
then,
And it was,
I remember when Fly came around though. It was fucking, it was wild. It was like it was just a weird loop we had of construction sounds. And I think it was Brent. Had like a little clip in there every now and then, acting like he was talking to one of the construction guys and saying, "Oh, something's big's coming. Something big's coming."
When are you guys gonna turn this? When are you gonna flip this switch? It's Brent.
It's Brent.
Brent. Yeah, that was an interesting time. That was fun though. God, I mean, if I could go back at any time in my life, it would be that.
I just wish that I mean, we've talked about it before. As there was nothing left for us in that industry, unfortunately. But God, what I wouldn't have given for like 2 more years.
I know. Or to go back and do it. I wouldn't want to go and relive the nights, because the only way that we made money is we'd go do live remotes. So we'd broadcast live, allegedly. The first probably couple we did, but then after that,
story I tell my friends too about live remotes.
And we, that's the only way. We'd get $150 or $200 a night to go show up at a club, or sometimes $50 and all you could drink. And it was just insane for, 3 years of my life, where I was going out every single night, but Sunday nights or Monday. No, it was every single night there for a lot. And, just getting just obliterated. It was just not fun. It ended up just wearing on me. And I was just like, oh God, I can't do this anymore. Yeah, so hey, somebody in the comment, Becky, personality, Brad, L.A. LaFever.
Oh, we were doing morning shows too. Yeah.
Hotties and Hunks.
Yeah, Hotties and Hunks.
America's Pub.
But yeah, I mean, doing the morning show and then being the guys that had to go out at night and everything, it was just like.
Yeah, there was times where I'd leave the bar.
Because we talked about how the remotes weren't necessarily live. That's a funny kind of story. Is we were there. We had to be there. We were contractually obligated to be there. But the live remote portion of the show was either A, recorded the last week with a DAT recorder, or B, recorded earlier that afternoon over the phone in the production room with like music blaring over the PA.
Hey, yeah, we're out here at Club Groove. It is Booby Tuesday. We are having a kick-ass time. Man, you got to get out here for all of these boobies on a Tuesday, and it's 2 for 1. You call it.
Corey'd be in there, and I'd open the door and just go, woo! And we just have music, like club music from the old format blaring.
Yeah, this Russ Factor, he is 3 sheets to the 1, man. He can barely stand. Why don't you come on out here tonight and help the Russ Factor stand? Woo!
2 for 1, you call it, and ladies get in free.
Yeah. Those were the good old days, baby. Baby.
Dollar make you holler.
Dollar. I'll tell you what, though. I think that it was crazy how much business, because like on Booby Tuesday, where you'd have like the wet T-shirt contest, and who went out on Tuesday nights? Nobody. We turned that in where there was maybe 5 or 6, 10 people there that night. It was the place to be for like 2 years.
Yep. And once we got it packed to the brim, guess who starts strolling up to share the night with us? Rick Thomas and T95. It's like, we built this fucking night. And then he just swoops in there right as we were winding down, and it's like, whatever, dude.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Rick Thomas.
You see what he's doing these days?
No, what's he doing?
Dude, he works at Power Hits 97.5 up in Manhattan. So he's right in his element, but he's a little old for his element, I think, now.
Is he still spinning the the Led Zeppelin at
No.
5?
He works. It's a pop station. It's been up there for. It used to be 94.5, but it's 97.5 now. But it's a top 40 pop music station.
That's interesting.
And when he went up there at first, he was working for like some AM station doing sports talk. It was weird hearing Rick Thomas riff about sports. I would listen to like one show, and I'm like, this show just feels weird.
Rick Thomas, rockin' Rick Thomas. All right. So then, we went kind of circling back to Thanksgiving. We went to the casino on Thanksgiving, and I was like, a Wednesday night and Thursday night.
Was it busy?
I could not believe there was nobody there. It was absolutely
damn. We were
dead.
talking about how you were going to go fight off a crowd after last week's show. Damn.
There was nobody. There was nobody there.
Wow.
And hopefully that's how it is now. The thing about it is our casino has been, I've just been talking to some folks. It has just been tight. There have been very, very few hits. A lot of my buds that I talked to haven't hit much. Have just been losing. I don't know if they've just tightened those wrenches down towards end of the year. They were trying to make their end of the month stuff. I don't know, man. It's just been real tough to win much there. I don't know why. So hopefully that changes tonight, because I'm going to be live from the casino. I'm going to go as long as I can, as long as my head will allow me to do so. I'm going to try to stay up and then take some NyQuil and pass out. That's the plan.
You need some of that trucker meth.
What's that?
Sudafed. The thing you have to show the ID for.
Oh, trucker meth. Oh, God, that's so good. So good, trucker meth. All right, well, we'll wrap up episode 36. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to listen on all platforms. We normally go live every Wednesday on YouTube and TikTok, and then we replay it on Spotify or Google Play or Apple Podcasts, anywhere that they are found. Any last closing remarks or any words of wisdom that you've got, Russ Factor? Because I know that you always have good words of wisdom.
Nothing much this week. Going to do a little self-promotion here. Follow me at Russ Factor Show on Twitch, TikTok, mainly Twitch. Friday for our big gaming show, we're going to be playing Killer Instinct. They just got a anniversary update. The game that came out in like 2015. Nice anniversary update. So we're going to be doing some fighting Friday night on the Russ Factor Show. So
are you guys going to download the Eminem skin on Fortnite? Guess that's enough. That was the big thing tonight, or something. Something's breaking on. Maybe it's Friday.
Yeah, I guess the moment I heard that, I'm like, wow, times have really changed. Eminem is doing a live event in fucking Fortnite.
Oh, he's doing a live event.
I don't know if it's live. I don't think it's live, but like they do these events all the time in Fortnite where like it's not like a game anymore. Like you load into the lobby and you're all friends, and there's a stage and it's playing the music and it's all just in game. And they last like 10 minutes, and then he's gonna have a skin in the store.
Didn't know that.
Fucking Eminem. This dude was one of the hardest rappers in the game back 20 years ago, and now
he's selling skins.
Now he's in a children's game.
Yeah, I'll probably be at the casino in about an hour, maybe 7:30 Central, 8 o'clock Central time tonight. Follow all my stuff, The Slotmaster 316 on TikTok, YouTube, and follow Bubba's Picks 316, and of course the Russ Factor Show. Follow him on you do yours on TikTok and Twitch, right? Is that
mainly Twitch. We do it everywhere, but we promote Twitch. But we're everywhere. We're technically, if you for some reason like fucking Kick, we're on there. Same name. YouTube, of course.
I saw that Tfue came back. Speaking of Fortnite,
yeah, he came. Did you see his
came out of retirement?
See his goofy video he did where
so stupid.
he's on the
I
beach and he does
that.
his beard vortex thing, and
he
came back because they offered him a bag, and
what did they pay him?
Who fucking knows? They gave a lot of those guys like 10-15 mil, so I'm sure.
I mean, they gave Nick Merckx $10 million. They got to give Tfue at least that,
yeah,
right?
And they brought him out of retirement too. But yeah, he was talking on his stream today or the other day, of course the split's nice, but he said his biggest thing with how a lot of those guys got paid, like Nick Merckx, where they got a kind of a set amount, and the subs didn't matter. is that he was just happy to be on a platform where he wasn't obligated to run 5 to 10 minutes of ads an hour anymore.
No, that's interesting. Twitch kind of makes you do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. YouTube is starting to push that way, actually. So,
which will be when we get to that point. Like, you know, like I was like listening to him and going, "Oh, you poor thing." I was like, if I could make money off of running ads, you better guarantee my show would be formatted around, let's take a commercial break.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break.
Come back to chat after the break here, and we'll compare which ads we saw. Like, we'd make it fun.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
So,
all right, everybody. Thank you so much. Episode 36 in the books. I'm the Slot Master 316, and that's my old pal Russ Factor. Be sure to follow us on all social medias. And
did you want to do one more ad read before we get out of here?
No, I'm good.
There's your other ad. Go visit chunkymonkeydesigns.com.
Just links in the bio. Check it out. .com. chunkymonkeydesigns.com. Check it out. Forgot about it. Second after the segment. All right, folks. We appreciate it, and we will see you soon.